Sometimes life doesn't move in a straight line. Sometimes it breaks into two, one part in this world and one part in another, and between them only one heartbeat exists. This is the story of Aarav and Meera, two people who never met, two lives in parallel universes, but one soul that kept calling through dreams. Aarav's world. Aarav lived in Mumbai, a city that never rested, days filled with screens, code, deadlines, nights filled with exhaustion and sleeplessness. But his dreams, they were different. Every night he saw a woman he had never met. Long, dark hair, soft eyes, a quiet presence. She stood in golden light surrounded by floating colors, like she lived inside a painting. And one night, he finally heard her name in the wind of his dream. Meera. Aarav woke up with a racing heart and a strange certainty. She was real. He began writing his dreams in a notebook. Time, colors, words, everything. He didn't know why, but something inside him told him to remember. Meera's world. In another universe, Meera lived in a smaller, slower world. She was an artist, always lost in colors and imagination. But lately, imagination was replaced by something else, a face. A man she had never seen stood in her mind, reaching out to her as if caught in rain and neon light. Whenever she painted, his image appeared, a silhouette in the city, eyes looking for something he couldn't find. In her dreams, a voice called her softly. "Meera, can you hear me?" She would try to answer, but her words never crossed the silence of sleep. She started painting him over and over until her room was filled with versions of a man who didn't exist, or at least not in her world. The connection. Their dreams began to overlap. Aarav saw colors he had never seen before, brushstrokes, warm gold, floating dust. Meera saw places she had never been, crowded stations, glowing billboards, rain turning into memory. One night, both saw the same place, an old deserted bridge under a sky filled with stars. A glowing line cut the space into two halves, cold blue on one side, warm gold on the other. Aarav walked toward it from the city side. Meera walked from the canvas world. They reached out, their fingers inches apart. Aarav whispered, "I can feel you." Meera whispered, "I can see you." And just as their hands were about to touch, the dream exploded in white light. Both woke up breathless. Something had changed. The break in reality. Aarav checked his computer. Lines of code he never wrote were appearing on their own. Dimension sync detected. Energy overlap unstable. Meera's paintings began to burn at the edges, old canvases tearing without flame. A message appeared on one of her canvases, formed by dripping gold paint. Parallel universes collapsing in 72 hours. Their love was breaking the laws of both worlds. The closer they came, the weaker the border became. Dreams were no longer dreams, they were crossings. Aarav decided he would force the connection. He created a program using his dream notes, Dream Bridge V1.0. Meera decided she would paint one last world, a world where they could exist together. Their fates were moving toward each other, even if their worlds were falling apart. The final dream. On the last night, both fell asleep knowingly. One final chance, one final meeting. There was no bridge this time, just a blank space, sky and earth missing, only soft white light. Aarav stood in darkness. Meera stood in light. They walked slowly to the center. Aarav said softly, "Our bodies belong to different universes, but our soul is one." Meera smiled, through tears. Parallel hearts never meet, but they always beat together. Their fingers touched, for the first and last time. The light burst. Everything dissolved. Silence. Epilogue. Months later, an art gallery in Mumbai exhibited a strange painting. It showed two figures reaching toward one another, separated by a glowing line. Its title was handwritten, "Parallel Hearts." Below, the artist's name was unknown. In a corner of the gallery, a laptop screen flickered awake. One program was still running. Dream Bridge active. Two steady heartbeats pulsed on screen. One beat, then another. Not separate anymore, but perfectly in sync. Like and subscribe for more stories.